A lot of people debate on what is the best way to watch Star Wars, but not me. Nope. I want to find the absolute worst order to watch Star Wars in. And I mean like an order so bad, even Palpatine would think this has gone too far. And so wipe your memory and pretend you have never watched Star Wars before. And let's get started on a brand new first movie of the Star Wars saga, The Book of Boba Fett. Imagine that this is the first thing you ever saw in Star Wars. I mean, the show assumes that you know who Boba Fett is. It assumes that you know the significance of this random planet called Tatooine that's just full of sand, and how the gang bosses work on that planet. This would be so confusing to watch, and the best part would be Mando has his episode in this show. I mean, it'd be like when you're at a family reunion and that one relative approaches you, and you just kind of go, hey, you, how's life? Then this random dude also shows up with this tiny green goblin looking thing. Plus this blue guy also pulls up. But don't worry, because I bet the next movie will clear this all up. I'm just kidding, it's The Last Jedi. You get no information from this. Remember all those random characters that we just met? Well, forget them. They're not showing up in this movie. And this movie is honestly pretty easy to figure out who the good and the bad guys are. Which is a negative because I want everyone to be confused. But at least for this movie, it is impossible to tell what's going on. So pretty much a big battle happens. Then we go to some random island and hey, it's the dude again, but he's a lot older. And we also figure out his name is Luke Skywalker. And with Luke is some random girl in a giant 7-foot walking rug. We also get to meet a brand new character, Snoke, and he is the big bad guy. And he dies like 10 minutes later before everything blows up. And also, I bet this dude right here will play a big role in the future, and his potential would never be wasted. Oh my god, is he invincible? How would that not kill him? He just got shot by like 15 big cannon things at once. The laser sword went right through. Wait, how is he back on the island? Can he clone himself? Is that did he just die? So yeah, we're 2 movies in and pretty much have no idea what's going on, but I bet the next new movie will clear everything up, right? Well, the third show for this order is Tales of the Jedi. Remember this guy? Well, you shouldn't have because you've never seen him before this. And what this show tells us is that this dude's name is Dooku, and Dooku is a thing called a Jedi. And where were all these Jedi in the last 2 movies? Well, we have no idea. Also, apparently this dude dies off screen or something, and Dooku becomes evil, and oh look, it's another green little magical goblin. Oh, and she's dead. That show is pretty short, but I mean, it's pretty good. Oh, it's not over. Look, it's the orange space creature again. And we learn her name is Ahsoka. She also has the power of the Jedi. And what the heck is going on? Who are all these people and who are these troops? Where were they earlier? I feel like we missed something and now she is fighting a bad guy. What is happening? Hopefully this show tells us who he is. Oh, nope, the show's over. Wow, this order is just awful so far. So how about we make it worse by putting Empire Strikes Back next? By putting this movie as the 4th, I have effectively turned a great movie into a nightmare. At this point, the character Luke Skywalker would be impossible to understand. I mean, just 2 movies back, he dies, but somehow Luke has returned. And hey, look, it's the guy from the first show. That's cool. Also, by putting Empire Strikes Back here, it would effectively ruin the greatest twist in Star Wars. And instead of being shocked like we should have been, you'd just be like, cool. Who are you? And am I supposed to care? But even with this atrocious order, the movie would still be good. And I won't stand for that. So the next movie up is the man, the myth, the legend, the holiday special. Even with context, the holiday special makes you question if you know your own name. So imagine watching this thing without knowing any of the characters in it. I mean, this thing has the lowest fan score of any Star Wars project in existence. Well, it used to until the Acolyte came along. And I bet you can guess what the next show is going to be. That's right, it's the Acolyte. Right when you're finally starting to understand this whole Force thing, this show will completely wreck anything you have built up. Because guess what? We now got super magical and completely overpowered helmet thingies. Knives work better than lightsabers. Loyalty shift from dark to light without any rhyme or reason. Jedi suck at fighting. 1 can take on 8 with ease. And best of all, you have to watch the awful show. I would actually rather get waterboarded than watch this show. I would rather fight a polar bear than watch this show. I mean, you get the point. The show's awful. And I'm making you watch it 6. And so after watching these 2 awful shows, how will I reward you? Well, do you remember this guy you saw for about 30 seconds as a ghost? Good news. He has a whole show and you get to watch it with no context. Unfortunately, this show does give a little bit of context for the future as you get to see Luke and Leia a bit, but it'll make you wonder, how is this dude Luke's father? I mean, something must be missing. Also, remember that one vague side character characters until the Jedi dies off screen. Well, he makes a single appearance as a ghost. Ain't that cool? You know what else is cool? Genocide. And that is exactly how the next movie starts. I mean, I like to say this movie is a copy of The New Hope, but I guess with The New Order, A New Hope copies this movie. This movie does give context to The Last Jedi, which I don't like. But then again, nobody cares this movie, and the order I'm cooking up is still more burnt than Anakin. And at this point, you know Luke Skywalker, right? Well, he is old again. Do you also remember Darth Vader? Yeah, he's just gone. Man, this order is starting to look worse than my legal record. So the next show up is Ahsoka. For the first time in the whole video, the main character that appears has some context, but everyone else is brand new. You get to meet a weird green lady that has a psychotic genocide indulging droid with her, and you're also gonna meet some zombie stormtroopers led by a blue Elon Musk that works with some witches. Man, I'd be so lost on this show without context. We also meet the awesome villain Balin, but unfortunately he'll never be seen or mentioned again. And speaking of meeting new characters, the next show, Tales of the Empire, will let you meet even more new people that you should know, but don't know because some idiot on YouTube is making an awful viewing experience of a franchise that should never be touched this way. Okay, now honestly, I've forgotten this whole show pretty much by this point, and it isn't important at all. So let's just move on to the next movie, which is Rise of Palpatine. So remember when this guy right here was dead? No? Well, that's because you've never seen him before. But guess what? He is back. Oh yeah, baby. You'll also experience the most overpowered character to ever exist. I mean, who is going to stop this guy? He is taking down an entire... Oh, he's dead now. Man, screw this. We're moving on to the next one, which is... So I actually ran out of time while editing this, which means this is part 1. Part 2 will be out next week, and if it's already out, it'll be on screen right now. And anyway, that's it. I'll see y'all next week.